Greetings, graduates, and congratulations on this impressive milestone in your life's journey. You have completed 13 years of K-12 education while also being active in your school, providing service to your community, participating in clubs, athletics, arts, and the sciences, or even working part-time jobs. You've discovered along the way how to organize, balance, prioritize, and navigate real life. And you did all this while our world has been dealing with a global pandemic. You exemplify excellence and resilience. Which reminds me of an art form that a friend introduced me to this year. It's the Japanese repair of broken pottery called kintsugi. When a bowl or teapot or precious vase accidentally breaks, instead of tossing aside the pieces, it is glued back together with a lacquer, and the seams are dusted in gold. The cracks are intentionally kept visible as part of the new pattern of the treasured item. Kintsugi, this unique method of highlighting the broken seams in gold, treats the breakage and repair as part of the history of the object, as something beautiful and to be admired, rather than something to disguise or mourn. There's no attempt to hide the damage. Instead, the repair is literally illuminated. Every repaired piece becomes unique because of the randomness with which ceramics shatter and the irregular patterns that are enhanced. Kintsugi teaches us that sometimes in the process of repairing things that have broken, we actually create something more unique, beautiful, and resilient. Kintsugi can be a way to reframe the hardships in our lives, to remind ourselves that we're not a victim of our circumstances, and to help come out the other side stronger. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. After the surgery to remove the tumor, I was left with a large scar behind my right ear. I also permanently lost the hearing in my right ear and the nerve endings across parts of the right side of my face, particularly my right eye and side of my mouth. Adjusting to these changes in my life was challenging at first. I was nervous about the visible differences, my new and crooked smile. But I've become more familiar with these changes, and others around me have as well. The changes are a part of who I am now, at this stage in my life. The imperfections make me unique. They tell an important story about my life. They remind me that life is precious, to not take anything for granted, and to listen to understand the story of others. Today, I choose to be more empowered because of my imperfections, my scars, my fault lines. The last year and a half of the pandemic have brought layers of loss to all of us. For some, the loss of loved ones. For others, the loss of employment or housing. For many, the loss of key social connections that were once a source of stability. For all of us, the loss of typical school life and interactions, events and activities that would have marked educational milestones and traditions, like a typical graduation. The losses are real, to be sure, but how we cope with them, how we repair ourselves, can help us heal and emerge with newfound strength, brilliance, and even beauty. I know this because I've heard many of you talk about it. Some of you have shared your experiences of this year with me in emails. Others have written about it in assignments to your teachers or peers. I've read stories of how many of you during COVID learned new hobbies, became closer to your parents or siblings, or made new friends, discovered new hiking trails, or new artistic mediums. Some of you wrote songs, others sang. You learned that you could persevere, you could cope, you could rediscover, could invent, could be more resilient, could be more confident for whatever next year or life had in store. We can look for a way to cope with traumatic events in a positive way, learn from negative experiences, take the best from them, and convince ourselves that exactly these experiences make us unique, stronger, precious. Singer-songwriter Leonard Cohen reminds us, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Psychologist Tomas Navarro, who published his book, Kintsugi, Embrace Your Imperfections and Find Happiness, says his core message for us is to develop resilience and strength, which are the key tools to overcome adversity and not to be frightened by it. Everyone faces suffering, he says, but it is the way in which we overcome our troubles and heal our emotional wounds that is key. Far from avoiding living, we must learn to repair ourselves after an adversity. Graduate, life will come with adversity, whether it is in the rear-view mirror, which COVID will be one day, or it is yet to come. Like the golden fault lines running through Kintsugi, when life shatters around us, we can be repaired. And the manner of that repair, the learning in that growth, becomes a strong and beautiful part of who we are. Remember, you are strong. You are resilient. Embrace your imperfections, your golden fault lines, your story. You are precious. You are a masterpiece, and lead forward.